you interested in finding out what makes people tick? Do you want more ease with your relationships? With Dondi Dahlin is going to tell us now more about her book, 5 Elements, and how all of this can be answered. Dondi, how are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. And I'm so happy to be here on the show.
Well, tell me a little bit about your book, 5 Elements. What are the 5 elements?
Yes, the 5 elements are so exciting. They're the world's oldest personality typing system, and they were first created by the Chinese in China over 3,000 years ago, and they were written into one of the oldest medical books over 2,000 years ago. And in short, they give you a roadmap to life, how people are going to react in certain situations, what their story is. It's almost like you have a psychic ability when you know the 5 elements, and life becomes easier and more simple, and relationships are so much not only easier, but richer and more meaningful.
Okay, I've got to know, what are the 5 elements? You've got to break this down for us.
Yes, so the elements are named after nature. They are water, wood, fire, earth, and metal. And metal can kind of trip people up. Think about it as the metal that comes out of the earth, the metal that is ored and mined from the earth. And each element has a different personality. So your water type of person is very go with the flow. They don't really pay attention to timelines. They're very intuitive and creative. Your wood person is a go-getter. They're very determined. They're going to hit all their deadlines, and they got everything done yesterday. Your fire type is joyful and happy, and they're excited about people and life. The earth type loves inclusivity and welcoming people into their home, and they like to work in groups. The metal type is different. They like to work alone. They're more solitary. So that is just a tip of the iceberg. But already I think the viewers can start to realize how helpful this would be if you're a boss, if you're a manager, or in family dynamics.
So do you have to take a test to know what type of element you are?
Well, taking a test is one way to do it, yes. And another way is, once you know the elements, you just watch how people move, watch how they walk. Once you know the elements, and it doesn't take very long, you can start to know the elements in 20 minutes, a half hour of just looking at them. If somebody enters a bar that you're sitting in or a restaurant, you know what element they are just by the way they move.
So how can this help, like in health challenges? Can knowing your element help?
Yes, absolutely, because each element is, we like to say, sort of governed by different organs in the body. So for water, they're governed by the kidneys and the bladder. That just means that water element type of people know that they need to take care of those organs a little bit more. Maybe there's a little bit more susceptibility to illness or disease there. Doesn't mean you're going to get sick, but you want to take care of those organs. For wood, it's the gallbladder and the liver. For the fire type, it's the heart, the pericardium that protects the heart, the triple warmer, which is an energy system, and the small intestine. For earth, it's the spleen and the stomach. And for metal, it's the lungs and the large intestine. So it's so helpful to know, for instance, if you're a metal type, oh, I need to look after my lungs a little bit more and my large intestine, because those might be susceptible for me.
So how can the elements help you in a relationship?
In relationships, it's incredible. For instance, I'll take the water type. The water type of person is often late. They just aren't guided by the clock, not the one on their wrist, not the one on the wall. So if you know this, if you know you're in relationship with a water, maybe instead of telling them you need to meet me at 3 o'clock, you say, let's meet at 2:45, knowing that waters have a harder time being on time. Or for instance, the earth type. The earth type is a person who often worries. They over worry. Well, that can really get on people's nerves. This person is always saying they're worried about me. And did I eat? Did I grab my jacket? Did I do this? Did I do that? They're nagging me. Well, as soon as you know that actually earth types are born this way, they're sort of born with this worry gene inside of them. You give them a break. You don't take it as personally.
How about careers? Can knowing your element help you in your career?
So much. So let's take the wood type, for example. The wood type is a leader. They're going to get things done well. They're going to do it fast. They're going to be done last week when everyone else in the office is still trying to get their work done. Woods are not only leaders, but they're pioneers in their fields. So they're willing to try things. They're willing to take risks. If you know this as a boss or a manager, you know where to put the wood type in the office. You know that the fire type needs people around them. They need to come in from the weekend and talk about how fun their weekend was. They need to be around the water cooler, joking around with everyone. Think about in the workplace how useful that is to be able to put people in the right spots, and it doesn't take you a year or 2 years to figure out where those spots are.
Okay, here's a trick question. What element makes the best parent?
That is a trick question because it depends on the type of parenting. If you want a strict parent who is very good with the black and the white, you wake up in the morning at this time, you go to bed at that time, you do your homework at that time, that's your wood. If you want a parent who is fun, and some kids need fun, all kids need different things, then a fire type of parent. But here's the thing. As a parent, you get to know your strengths and you get to know your challenges. So whether you're a water, wood, fire, earth, or metal, you become a better parent knowing the 5 elements.
So in your book, is there a quiz people can take?
There is a quiz. So my book, I have it right here. I haven't given them all away. I often give them away to people, the 5 elements. There's a very comprehensive quiz at the end of each chapter, and you can really dive in, and it's very meaningful. There's a quicker quiz online, and that's at learnthefiveelements.com, and that might take 6 to 7 minutes. You not only get your first element, but you get your second element because you're going to have a backup element as well.
Now my mind is blown. I'm not only 1 element, I'm 2. Now you said at the beginning of the interview that typically about 20 seconds in, you can tell somebody what type of element they are. Any guess? Can you tell me what type of element I am?
Well, I'm not around you in person, so I can't see the way you walk, and I don't know what you're like behind the closed doors. But right now, the way you're speaking and the way you're very clear and the octave of your voice tells me that you probably have some strong wood. It may not be your first, it may be your second, but you've got some wood in there.
All right. Looking forward to reading your book. And where can folks find your book?
You can find it anywhere books are sold, and everyone goes to Amazon these days, and it is on Amazon.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm looking forward to diving into finding out my other element. It's a surprise. Thank you, Dondi.
Awesome. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
And we'll be right back.